we didn't know it at the time, but that was the start of Jessie and my CrossFit journey, as we've called it, of 2023.
See, I knew it at the time. That was the master plan. You guys thought you were pulling one on me with the ice barrel. Here you are at the CrossFit Games. Well, it's huge, and it comes back to, you know, where we started. Like, our job and our predominant focus, like what we are trying to do is reach more people, impact more lives through CrossFit. Like, that is the kind of North Star that drives everything we do. We really believe in CrossFit, like, doing hard things makes you better.
Yeah.
It helps you build grit. It helps you build resilience. It helps you build confidence. And those benefits extend beyond the time you spend in the gym.
Don, welcome back to the Jedburgh podcast.
Thanks for having me back, guys. Fired up?
Oh, well, thank you for having us to CrossFit Games 2023. We sat down with you at Wadapalooza. That was the start of what, we didn't know it at the time, but that was the start of Jessie and my CrossFit journey, as we've called it, of 2023.
See, I knew it at the time. That was the master plan. You guys thought you were pulling one on me with the ice barrel. Here you are at the CrossFit Games.
Yeah, that was exciting. I was just realizing it as we were talking to you. I was like, wait, am I going to learn a whole new thing?
Yeah, and you guys been to the level 1, right? Now you're here at the Games, so we've got you now. There's no escape.
No, we're in, and I will tell you, we were walking around here. I mean, absolutely incredible setup. You were just joking that, is it day 1? Well, it's day 1 for some, it's day 3. I was talking to someone today and they were like, it's day 5 for me, because they got here on Sunday and they had a setup. But I mean, this venue, this experience, I want to get into kind of the atmosphere of it in a second, but it does suck you in. And that community that you talked so much about back in January as one of your goals, one of the visions that you had was, how do we enhance and amplify this community?
That's right.
Just presents itself here. We haven't even really gotten into the main event yet.
That's right. Yeah, there is something different about being here, about experiencing it. You know, I'd been in the CrossFit community for 9 years, training. I watched the Games at home. I loved it. Last year was my first time to experience the Games. And it's a way of experiencing the community on a fundamentally different level. You know, I talk about, obviously you expect folks to be pretty fit, and they are.
Oh, they are.
I always go back home being like, I thought I was in good shape, and I need to get after it a little bit more after walking around. But also just for me, what I've been struck by every time I come to one of these events is how happy people are, how friendly people are. There's a sense of connection. You talk to someone for 30 seconds and there's, you know, I think really united in people's passion for CrossFit. So this community is really amazing and really unique.
Let's talk about the level 1 for a minute.
Okay.
Because that was your challenge to us. We put you in the ice bath and you challenged us to go to that level 1 certificate course. Incredible experience.
Oh, I loved it. I loved when we got into the math around, oh gosh, what was it now?
Power output.
Yeah.
Power output.
Work capacity, right?
Work capacity.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is really, so I really appreciate you guys, by the way, taking a weekend to go do it. And, you know, I'd been in the CrossFit community 9 years. I did my level 1 about a year ago. I wish I had done it 8.5 years ago. I wish I had done it my first few months. As a member of the community, I think helping folks understand the foundation of the methodology, the principles that drive what we do. This isn't, you know, it's not off the cuff. What we do is empirically driven. It's grounded in physiology. It's grounded in a really clear set of principles brought together in a really compelling sort of way. And I think you get a chance to experience that in the level 1.
That was the biggest thing I took away from that course. And because like you, and people said, well, how long have you been doing CrossFit? And it's like, well, you know, as a regiment, not really at all. But has it been a part of my training for 15, 20 years? Yeah, it has, because the Army embraced aspects of it. I always felt like, well, I could pull this CrossFit workout off the internet and go out and do it. And inevitably, it crushed me, and I felt brutalized, both my ego and my body, and then you wouldn't do it for a while. But then I went to the course, and it was like, whoa, the science behind this, the whole aspect of when you put it all together and the logic, if you stick to this, if you do it, it all makes sense. Had I gone to this 15 years ago, would I be a totally different person? Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a good reminder for us. We are actually, one of the things we're trying to do is, you know, the level 1 was designed originally for our coaches. And so, you know, we've got hundreds of thousands of coaches around the world that have been through the level 1, an incredible experience. I think what we're realizing actually is there's an enormous amount of benefit for folks who just love CrossFit and want to better understand the foundation for it. And so we've actually designed, in our partnership with the U.S. Army, essentially what is a compressed level 1. So it's a fundamentals course. It's 1 day. We take a lot of the essential elements of the level 1 course. We build them into a 1-day course. We've now put close to 3,000, I think, soldiers through it.
Wow.
At Fort Stewart, Fort Benning. These are, men and women who are being exposed to CrossFit most of them for the first time, and our reviews are off the charts. And so we're now rolling that out and making that available for more of the community.
And if you're cramming that much information into 1 day, what portions of it are you focusing on?
So really the foundations, the principles of the methodology, we break down the fundamentals of the basic movements. We want to make sure people understand that. There's the compressed nutrition lecture. There's a little bit less of the some of the academic portions. We don't do a test as part of it. So for the level 1, if you want to actually be a certified level 1, we go through that.
I was nervous.
You and me both.
I was nervous.
Well, imagine how bad it would have looked for me if I had failed my level 1 in the first month on the job. So the stakes were high. So yes, when I opened the email, I was quivering a little bit. But so we've stripped out some of it. So you get, and the team did an amazing job. I think the people walk out energized, inspired.
Yeah.
They have a desire to learn more. They understand the why, right? So sometimes for folks who don't understand CrossFit, the critique we get is, it's a bunch of random stuff.
It's a bunch of what?
Random movements. Every workout's different. There's no specificity.
It's not random,
There's
it's constantly varied.
Exactly. And there's gosh, look at that.
I learned something.
That's
that
what
was
I'm
on the
talking
test.
about. It's constantly varied, right? It is constantly varied by design. And so, I think the level 1, our fundamentals course, helps understand and grounds the context behind the foundation for it.
You brought up the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
We're on the U.S. Army truck.
We
They
are.
call it Fit 1. That's
Yeah.
what I said. What is it? Because you keep saying, it's a truck. Okay, well, what do we call the truck? Call it Fit 1. We're going to do some cool stuff all week around here with the Warrior Fitness team, with a number of the elite athletes and athletes in the adaptive category. We have athletes who are in the age groups. We have a number of the major sponsors are coming in to talk about what they're doing here. I bring it up because, number one, I have a Marine now on the Army stage, which makes me feel very good about
I'm a little uncomfortable. It's okay. I'm riding it out.
You're nervous, but that's all right. But the Army's motto, they've gone back to be all you can be.
Love it. Yeah.
And I'm so excited
Yep.
when that came back. I'm like, finally. I think I was like yelling to my wife, like, it's be all you can be again.
Yeah.
But what's that really mean? It
Yep.
means being the best version of yourself.
That's right.
And now as we look at whether it's the military or CrossFit, you don't have to be the elite number 1 athlete. We had Roman Krenikov on here yesterday.
Awesome.
The crowd was like, all around. We're like, guys, we need to stop with the pictures because we got to get them in here. But you can be at that level.
Yeah.
Or CrossFit I was telling Jessie about this, put out a great post on Instagram last week, and it said, despite what you might see on Instagram, most CrossFitters work out fully clothed, have challenges, and it went through this kind of whole evolution of people not failing, but they're not the elite athletes.
That's right.
And they were fully clothed.
Yeah.
But that proves that CrossFit is opening up to everyone. One of the things you talked about yesterday, and you've talked about all year, and since our last conversation too, is how do we broaden the community? How do we reach out to more people?
That's right.
Talk about those initiatives and what you're focused on now. You're in the job. You brought it up yesterday. We were not surprised that you're still here, despite what others might think.
Yeah.
But you've done an awesome job here. And now what's that focus?
Oh, thank you. Well, it's, I think it's, you started with, be all you can be. We use different language, but the essence of what we're trying to do for CrossFit is synonymous with that. And whether you're a competitive athlete, a has-been athlete, a dad who wants to be able to chase his daughters around and compete, wherever you are in your life, CrossFit, we want to help you realize your full potential, to live your best life. So it's fitness for life. It's fitness to allow you to do the things that allow you to live physically, emotionally, socially, be able to do everything you can and enjoy the richness of life. So that fundamentally, that's what CrossFit's all about. And so we've been working really hard to help people understand that CrossFit is for anyone. yes, we have athletes like Roman Krennikov who are incredible, adaptive athletes who are so inspiring in what they do and demonstrate through grit and resilience. But CrossFit, our community is mostly people like us. It's every age, every level of fitness. And one of the beauties of our methodology, one of the things you probably heard in the level 1 is this notion of, we talk about CrossFit's infinitely scalable. What do we mean by that? We meet you where you are. So I showed up yesterday to a workout with a bunch of our coaches, and I walked in, and there's still a lot. I'm 10 years in, and there are a lot of movements I'm still working on. That's one of the beauties of CrossFit. And I looked at the workout, and it was like it was made for Jessie. It was 10 rounds and 9 toes to bar, and which I'm like, oh, okay, like that'll hurt, but I'll get through that. And then 30-foot handstand walk, 10 rounds. I'm like, was this designed to make me look? But with the coaching there, they were ready. Every single member, whether you could go unbroken for 10 rounds or you had never actually been upside down before on your hands, the coaches were there to make sure that workout and that experience was amazing for everyone. And you had the full spectrum. Someone like me, bad shoulder, can't do a handstand walk. I had an incredible workout yesterday. And so I think for us, helping people realize this community is as welcoming and inclusive as any group that you're going to find anywhere. Again, whether you're far along in your fitness journey or just starting. And so a lot of the work that we've been trying to do is people who have been in the community know that. They're not surprised by that. Folks who have not are intimidated. They see our elite athletes. They hear about how hardcore CrossFit is. And so we're trying to elevate those stories and tell stories. How do we show, and you'll see it this week, our media, what we show to the world, is not just going to be the elite athletes. For sure, there'll be a part of it. It's going to be the everyday athletes. We're doing a scaled version. So one of the events we're running this week at the Games is called Helen.
It's called what?
Helen. So it's one of our named workouts named Helen. And it is for athletes. It's a run. It's some kettlebell swings. And it's pull-ups. And what we're doing is we're going to have a much harder version of that for our elite athletes. And then every member of our community is going to do some version of it. And so we think that's a really cool way of showing, look, here is a workout that the best athletes in the world are going to do. It's going to challenge them. There's a way of scaling this and doing this that extends to someone who's been in CrossFit for 3 days and is still learning those movements. So there's a lot of work we're trying to do to really connect the dots, to help people understand that this methodology by design meets you where you are. This community is extraordinarily supportive. We have incredible coaches who know how to make sure you can design the workout and make it work for you.
You do CrossFit for 2 or 3 months, you might not see the numbers change on the scale, you might not feel like, but if you can show people with data, like you're actually improving, you just hit a PR, you're getting better.
Gym owners were able to just basically click a button and get all the resources and tools that we were using for our gyms at a fraction of what it would cost them.
Like if gyms provide a better product on the floor by having better coaches, their business is going to be healthier. They're going to have better retention and have all those other features. And coaching is a skill that needs to be developed. We are, I would argue, the most product-focused company in our space. And the way we create value is by building better, we build products. In 2012, we told gyms to put TVs on their walls, and we got laughed at an event. And go in any CrossFit gym in the world now, and you're probably going to see a TV on the wall. But we're just constantly pushing the envelope with innovation.
Yeah, it's really about finding that threshold of challenge. It doesn't really matter what level of difficulty you're at, as long as you're at that challenge level for you.
Yep.
Pushing to your limits to get the most you can get. And in our class, there was one of the things we were doing, there was one person who was the last one to finish, and everyone was just cheering so hard for that person.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
That was me.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well done, Jessie. Look at Jessie. She's like, oh, I didn't remember that. Well
that
done.
was the one person. Oh, it was 100%.
What I will say, Jessie, everyone has been that person. When I started doing CrossFit, I finished last in every workout for like 2 months.
Oh.
I guarantee you, if you talk to Roman, you talk to any one of these elite athletes, they will tell you a workout probably pretty recently that humbled them.
Yeah.
That challenged them. That's part of this community. That's the beauty of it.
That's so important.
And that's part of what you get out of it. Like, we really believe in CrossFit, like, doing hard things makes you better.
Yeah.
It helps you build grit. It helps you build resilience. It helps you build confidence. And those benefits extend beyond the time you spend in the gym. You walk out, we hear this all the time from people. The psychological benefits, the social benefits, the confidence people leave the gym with comes from doing hard things in a community where you are supported every step of the way.
Yeah. You know what I'm just realizing right now about the constantly varied workouts is that if you're doing the same workouts all the time, you have this measuring bar of like, am I better today? Am I worse today? And like, if you're doing the same one all the time, if I'm not always beating myself, I can get pretty down.
Right.
Whereas if you're doing something different every day and you can't compare to your performance before, the only thing you have to judge yourself by is how hard did I push myself? How exhausted am I at the end? And that's a much healthier way of judging today's workout.
Totally.
I think.
You know, I'd say like success for most workouts is feeling like you gave what you could that day.
Yeah.
And they're designed to be engaging. I think the variation also adds to the, keeps it exciting. It keeps it fresh. I know for a lot of people, I check every night what the workout's going to be the next day.
You have to start preparing.
Eager anticipation. Sometimes, we got to do this. But like that keeps people motivated and engaged. Now we do benchmarks too, because we do believe that actually, look, if you do CrossFit, if you just start, you're going to see progress really fast.
For sure.
Now that's not checking every hour, every day. But in the first 2 to 3 months, and we think that progress is also reinforcing. It gives you confidence. Okay, this is working. Let me stick with it.
Absolutely.
We're gonna talk a lot more about that in detail tomorrow with Heather Lawrence.
Awesome.
Is gonna come on. We have to. Oh, I haven't even told you yet. We have to run the 5K with her tomorrow.
Okay.
And FYI. and
I'll be running that as well. So we're all gonna have a good time
It's the
together.
longest I've run in a long time.
and then we're gonna have her on. We're gonna talk
For a
about
lot of members of
design.
our community, running a 5K is like it might as well be a marathon. So I'm fired up to see what the turnout looks like tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I'm not good at in CrossFit. Most things. Running is one of the things I'm like marginally better at. So I'm excited for it tomorrow.
That's how I feel.
Wait, are we really running a 5K? I'm kind of excited about that.
I'm excited.
Nice.
I can't wait. Yes, we are running the 5K.
Or do we have to wear a weight vest or anything?
No,
All right.
unless you want to.
So it's a global 5K. So we have people who all around the world in the community are going to be running the 5K.
Oh, wow.
They're going to be entering their scores in the CrossFit application. And so update your profile. And so we've seen already this week tens of thousands of people all around the world doing the same workouts, our benchmark workouts, updating their scores. And you'll be able to see when you get done where you stack rank in the community,
awesome.
what percentile for your age group, for your gender. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, is there anything else, any other exercises in the workout, or is it just a 5K?
It's just a 5K. So tomorrow's
Okay.
just a 5K. I mentioned the Helen workout earlier. That's also a benchmark workout. So that's also one that you can enter on your profile and see where you kind of stack rank.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to find time for that one too.
Yeah, definitely.
Don, big achievement, win, whatever you want to call it, goal that you had was to get the games back on ESPN.
Yes.
As
Yeah.
of today, the games are back on ESPN.
That's right,
Talk
yes.
about what that means for the organization.
Well, it's huge, and it comes back to, you know, where we started. Like our job and our predominant focus, like what we are trying to do, is reach more people, impact more lives through CrossFit. Like that is the kind of North Star that drives everything we do. And that, by the way, that goal is good for the entire community. It's amazing for affiliate owners. It's great for our coaches. It's great for our community now who can connect with more people. It's great for our elite athletes as we work to expand their fan base, partners, etc. And so in service of that, sports, as we think about what we do through sport, the CrossFit Games, regionals, the open competition, we really start with how can sport help us reach more people? And when you look back, if we go back, we had a long partnership with ESPN during the fastest period of growth for CrossFit. And for a lot of people, when you talk to them about where their journey started with CrossFit, for a lot of them, it started by seeing CrossFit on ESPN, right? Turning on the preeminent sports platform, seeing this incredible, crazy, inspiring sport, saying, wow, that's amazing. I want to go check that out. And so for us, being able now to get back on ESPN, I think is an enormous opportunity for us to reach millions of people who are sitting at home, who have not yet given CrossFit a chance. I think it's a great signal of the path that we're on. You know, from a brand perspective, being able to elevate and perform at that level is, I think, a signal of the momentum that we have of the impact that we're having. It's also, I think, when I think about in our space in the fitness industry, there's not a lot of brands that have been around for a long time. The fitness industry is, the fad of the moment. You name it. We've been around now for over 20 years. And we've been around because we have real impact. And this brand is going to be around for a long time. And I think this partnership as well shows that. And I hope we're on ESPN, similar platforms for a really long time. So we're really excited about it. I'm really grateful. Our team worked incredibly hard to make it happen. We got it done literally in 40 minutes before a press conference last night. I was sweating bullets a little bit because we wanted to be able to announce it, but really, really fired up. And again, I think it's great for everyone. So we're really excited about it.
Wow. They waited to tell you until that close before the game?
They probably got it done a week ago, and they're like, watch, let's just make Don sweat for the next week. But no, we were literally, and look, like these, as is maybe obvious, these types of partnerships require there's a lot of detail. Yeah. Right, and we want to make sure both sides were incredibly excited from the beginning, and then there's a lot of specifics to work out. We wanted to make sure we were set up for success. So there was a lot of that work that we just had to hustle and get through, and our partners at ESPN were amazing. So we're excited.
Yes.
The other announcement that you made this week was that in kind of the same vein, right? We got to get CrossFit out to a broader community. The games won't be returning to Madison.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So bittersweet announcement, and I say bittersweet because. We've had 6 years in Madison, and it's been incredible. A beautiful city, an amazing place to visit. The city itself could not have been more welcoming. They have supported us every single step of the way. The local community, small business owners, just incredible. So they've set a really high bar. Now, look, why? Why are we leaving? I think it's important for the sport and important for the community. We want to expose as much of our global community to this experience as we possibly can. Again, great for the community, great for our owners. So we're incredibly grateful to the city of Madison. Again, they set a super high bar for whatever's next to come. And we're not quite ready yet to announce where we're going to be next year, but...
you took my question.
That's right. I knew it was coming. But look, we're working really hard to be able to announce that as soon as we can.
Welcome to the new home of the CrossFit Games.
Have you noticed, like, each year when the CrossFit Games are here, are there a ton more recreational signups for CrossFit just from the community?
So, we are not in as good a place in terms of being able to answer that question as we need to be. Ideally, we know there is a huge halo effect associated with the games for people who can visit in person or hear about it in the local community. I was talking to a bartender at our hotel last night who's been here and talking about he's a triathlete, and I was putting the hard sell on, trying to get him into a local box. We know it has an impact. We are doing a lot of work behind the scenes to be able to measure that more effectively, and so that'll allow us to be better in how we present it and learning what works, what doesn't work, and then being able to really communicate to cities the impact that CrossFit can have.
The individual and team competition started today. The adaptive and the age group athletes finish up today.
That's right.
We had a chance yesterday, as I said, we sat down with Roman. We also sat down with CrossFit Franco's Misfits and Shaylin Laurie and her team. We talked about how the next 4 days are going to be some of the most grueling events that they've ever been through as athletes. What are you most looking forward to over the next couple of days?
Oh, gosh. I mean, it's, I'd say every year when you watch the games, there are moments that you'll go back and remember. Last year we had this Capitol event where we had this iconic scene of athletes coming up the steps of the state capitol, community coming behind the athletes. Couldn't have scripted or predicted, it just happens. We had an incredible event last year, Saturday night in the Coliseum. What on paper sounded for some people like a boring event, a heavy sandbag lift, was riveting. And so I don't know. I have a suspicion. We don't know exactly what those events are going to be. And we talk a lot. The magic will happen. And when it does, it's going to be amazing. So, on the competition side, excited. We've got a really competitive field on the individual side, men and women. So I'm really fired up. We have some athletes who have been around a long time. We've got some new athletes. It's going to be really exciting, really competitive. On top of that, beyond the competition, my favorite part of the games is the time I get a chance to spend with the community. Meeting with affiliate owners, meeting with coaches, meeting with people who tell me about the impact CrossFit had in their life. I did a workout this morning at a local affiliate. My partner was an adaptive athlete who told me about how CrossFit has helped him. He's a neurological disorder, and he talked to me about how CrossFit for him has helped him manage his symptoms. And he said, I'm healthier and fitter today than I was before I was diagnosed. And that, to me, I won't forget that. Those are the moments that really, really matter. Those are the moments where the reinforcing, as incredible as the competition is, that's what it's all about. It's those people who get a chance to be exposed to this, connect to this community, who start this journey that for so many people can be life-changing on a fundamental level. So I don't know where those are going to happen. I know they will, and really grateful for them.
Elite organizations start at the top. It starts with leadership. The vision, the mission that leaders set, and then the way that they empower and inspire their team to motivate others and achieve the goals. Mm-hmm. You've done a phenomenal job over the last year. It also is about humility. And every time we talk to you, I'm always so inspired by the vision that you have, how you push the team to do that, how you inspire everyone around you, but you also put it back on them. We had a chance to sit down with Michael Chernow at Sandlot.
Yeah.
I'm still sore from the workout we did with you at Sandlot. but he tells a great story about, he didn't know who you were. And you were in the green room before the fit talks, and he sees the CrossFit shirt and starts talking all about how, oh yeah, CrossFit changed my life. I want to compete in the games at 45. And the only thing you told him was, I've heard it. I know about CrossFit. He tells it way better than I did. Anybody's got to listen to that interview with him. But it's just a demonstration of who you are. And it's a demonstration of the brand. And it's about being inclusive and bringing people in. And it's not about, 9 out of 10 people, 9.5 out of 10 people would have taken that moment to say, I'm the CrossFit CEO. Well. But you didn't, because it was about welcoming him into the community, just like everybody has here. We're so proud and honored to have been welcomed into this community over the last year. So thankful to have you on again, become a staple on the Jedburgh podcast. This is the third time you've been hanging out with us. I know you got a lot to do, so we got to let you get to it, but thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
it's awesome to see you. Thanks for being here. Look, this CrossFit is the community. That's every person who shows up at these events and engages and elevates what we're trying to do here. So really appreciate what you guys are doing. It's always fun to see you. I'm excited for our next workout. We got to figure out when that happens.
Yeah, nice. We got to do it.
Maybe we should do it when Jessie's feeling a little under the weather, so you and I have a shot of not getting destroyed.
That's
so
right.
that's the strategy. Well, thank you guys so much. Have an awesome week.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Don.
you too. Good luck.
Cool.
You too.
Thank you.
American Jedburghs went out to form the foundation of the United States Special Forces and the Special Activities Directorate of the Central Intelligence Agency. Thanks for listening to the Jedburgh podcast. I'm your creator and host, Fran Racioppi. Join us next week for a new episode on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out on YouTube for full episodes, highlights, and other behind-the-scenes content. If you like what you heard, give us a like and leave a review. Follow me, Fran Racioppi, Jessie Graff, Talent War Group, and our CrossFit Games sponsors, U.S. Army, Wodify, GoRuck, and Hero Coffee on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, or X. Send your comments and inquiries to fran@jedburghpodcast.com. As a former member of Special Forces, the Jedburgh podcast donates a percentage of all proceeds to the Green Beret Foundation, supporting America's Special Forces and their families. Thanks for joining us on this episode. How you prepare today determines success tomorrow.